Hello, this is Lacquerography, and this is my wish list for June 2025's polish pickup. The theme this month is vacation destinations, and I've already gone ahead and made a preliminary first impressions wish list, and there are 17 items this month that are catching my eye. So let's dive right in and take a look at the 17 items that have made it onto my preliminary wish list this month. The first item up is by Cadillacer, Neon Lights. Inspired by New York City's Times Square, a neon yellow with small iridescent flakes and neon pink glitter in different sizes. And there is an availability cap for this polish this month at only 600 being made available. This was the very first polish that caught my eye when previews began on the Polish Pickup Facebook group a few weeks back. And I couldn't help but smile. This is just so vibrant and cheerful and happy and optimistic and really everything that I'm looking for in a summer polish. I have nothing like this one. I really love the addition of the components in this neon yellow base. I really don't have anything at all that comes close. I also find it quite interesting that it's inspired by New York's Times Square. I did have the incredible chance to visit New York only once, and I can't believe that it was actually about 15 years ago when I was there. It's wild to me that it was that long ago. But there is just this vibrance and this feeling of being alive when you're in New York's Times Square. To me, this polish reverberates with that kind of energy that you associate with New York and Times Square. And I just love this one. This was the first polish that caught my eye this month, and it remains a very strong contender on my wish list. This polish is by Cadillacer, Neon Lights. This next polish up is by Cameo Colors Lacquers, and this one is called Heather in the Highlands. Heather in the Scottish Highlands is a green when warm to purple when cold thermal with a green shimmer, violet green ultra chrome flakes, and silver hollow microflakes. There are only 250 of these being made available though this month, so that is something that I will have to watch out for if this one does make the final cut this month. The colorway for this polish is breathtaking to me. These are two of my favorite colors, a green and a purple, and the way they blend and play together I think is stunning. I also love the way that the flakes in here play differently depending on the color state, whether it's in the green state or in the purple state or something in between. These flakes really are complementary, I think, to what's happening color-wise. Many years ago, I did have the great opportunity to go to the Scottish Highlands with my family. Heather is so prevalent in the landscape there. These colors capture that natural beauty perfectly. I think this polish is so well executed in the way that they've honored the inspiration. I find that this polish is also incredibly flattering on every swatcher, and there are a plethora of swatchers' photos. That's always such a great draw for me when I can sort of be sure that a polish like this one will flatter many. I find it such an incredible ode to such a special place in the world. This polish may actually be one of my very top picks this month. This beautiful thermal polish is by Cameo Colors Lacquers, Heather in the Highlands. This next polish up is by Chameleon Nails, and this one is called Whispers of Camargue. This polish was inspired by the maker's favorite destination as a child, the Camargue in southern France. We stayed there every year in a village called Salins de Giraud, and on the way to the sea, we drove along beautiful salt lakes. They call them marais salants, which means salt gardens. For me, it was the most magical time of the year, and this polish is intended to reflect the enchanting atmosphere there. It is a thermal and a solar in one. Cold, no UV, it's smoky medium blue. To warm, with no UV, it becomes a minty green. And when it is in the sun, it turns to purple when cold and magenta when warm. It also contains iridescent flakes, shifting orange, yellow, green, and a soft orange shimmer. Now there is an interesting warning here. It says, please make sure to use a top coat that doesn't contain the following ingredients: benzophenone, etokrylene, octocrylene. These are UV inhibitors and can weaken the transition in natural sunlight. Additional information concerning solar polishes is that they react best in direct light at midday. The effect may be less strong in the evening or morning under a dusky, hazy sky, etc. In general, the stronger the sunlight, UV rays, the stronger the transition will be. There are only 350 of these polishes being made available this month. Another very small cap. Okay, for this polish, I've never seen anything like this. Like, this one had my jaw on the floor. Yes, I'm a little bit held back by this one because I do realize that thermal polishes do have a shelf life. The polish will still be able to be worn and everything, but that reactive property does die off with time. I believe that that's also the same with solar polishes as well. I'm not exactly sure on that, so please correct me if I'm wrong there. I have a lot less experience with solar polishes, so I might be wrong. So I am aware that this would be a temporary effect for the polish, but I've never seen anything like this. I mean, this is a true rainbow on the nails. This is magical. And I'm loving the way these iridescent flakes show through in any sort of colorway, whether it's in the cold or warm state, the sun or no sun state. This is really unbelievable to me. I've never experienced a polish like this. And this color range, I mean, all I can think of is how my students might react to this. I am an elementary teacher, and if I ever wear a thermal polish, like invariably we end up talking about an impromptu kind of science lesson. And I could just imagine, like, this is so many colors in one on the nails. It would be so much fun to wear. Like, my students would be mesmerized. They're grade 2 and 3. They would be floored by the magic here. And I think I would be equally as floored. This would be a highly distracting polish in all the best ways. And just for its uniqueness, utter uniqueness and brilliance, I would love to get my hands on this one to add it to my collection. I think it's beautiful, so creative. This incredible, wide-ranging thermal and solar polish is by Chameleon Nails, Whispers of Camargue. This next polish up is by Cleona Cosmetics, and this one is called Devil's Bridge. This one has a shrub green Crelly base with a hot orange magnetic pull, inspired by the natural rock arch named Devil's Bridge in Sedona, Arizona. This popular hiking area is known for its red rock sandstone, which is beautifully juxtaposed by the green tree and shrub species that thrive in its unique climate. Best worn in 3 coats, magnetized the third and top coat. Swatches show the ring finger magnetized in the cat eye style and the middle finger in a velvet style. And peeking a little bit lower down there's only 620 of these ones being made available as well. Lots of availability caps going on here this month. I may have to consider making my purchase right when the shop opens on Friday, June 6th, right at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. I love the interesting colorway of this polish in all its different magnetized but also non-magnetized states. That murkiness and moodiness, I find it quite interesting that it is inspired by this natural rock arch, Devil's Bridge in Sedona, Arizona. I'm pretty sure that I know what that looks like. I will have to look it up though. I'd love to see a range of photos of that inspiration just to see where the maker was coming from. But I also see sort of a swamp or a foresty type look here. The range of this murky colorway is so fascinating and shifty. I truly love the way it looks in all these states. The cat eye effect is featured on the swatcher's ring finger here. The velvet effect is featured on the middle finger, and it does appear to my eye that I think it is unmagnetized on the index and pinky finger. I'm loving the look of this on every swatcher in every magnetic state. I just find this polish to be so impressive. This is another one that I think I have nothing like in my own collection, and I would be very interested in adding this one. I could see myself loving it really in any season because it's a deep, murky kind of neutral with this brown to green, but I would love this one in the fall especially. It's just so cool. This incredible magnetic polish is by Cleona Cosmetics, Devil's Bridge. This next polish up is by Cuticula, and this one is called You Had Me at Aloha. This one is inspired by Hawaii. You Had Me at Aloha is a bright tropical green with green, gold, red, orange, fuchsia iridescent flakes. I haven't had the chance to travel to Hawaii yet. My parents have though, and they've always raved about how wonderful it is. Its culture, its natural beauty, its climate, the wildlife, truly just everything about it. I really hope that I can get there someday. I find that when I look at this polish, it evokes Hawaii. It looks so tropical and fun and beautiful. I love the layering effect here of these flakies. It's something that Cuticula, I think, does so masterfully. And I know that I would really enjoy a polish like this one. Also, it is a green, and I do love a good green. Actually, I pretty much love any green. And this one is a very good green. So I know that this would be a very welcome and wonderful addition to my collection. This beautiful tropical green is by Cuticula. You Had Me at Aloha. This next polish up is by Dom Nail Polish, Tankfully Yours. Inspired by the tank at Flamenco Beach in Culebra, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, a small island off of Puerto Rico where Mr. Dom Nail Polish proposed. This polish has a blue base with pink, gold, green shifting shimmer and light green reflective glitters. This blend gives the polish an overall teal hue. There are only 300 of these polishes being made available this month. Now, what can I say? I love reflective glitter still in polishes, and I can just see how the reflective glitter here will just serve to enhance this polish no matter what the lighting. Reflective glitter has this way of just catching and capturing the light, making it shift and refract in all different ways that are sometimes unexpected. I realize that really it gets its biggest effect under flash photography, like what we see here in the bottom left-hand part of the collage here. I find it plays beautifully in any light. And for me, with this polish, I find it really captures that tropical vibe. This is another one that I'm really loving on every skin tone. The quality of the color, the look of that reflective glitter within it, and the shimmery shifts. This all comes together to produce such a beautiful polish. And the inspiration, I just think that's so romantic and beautiful. What a great way to honor this special place and that special moment in the maker's life. This gorgeous reflective tropical polish is by Dom Nail Polish, Tankfully Yours. This next polish up is by Danglefoot Nail Polish, and this one is called Live, Laugh, Lava. This one is inspired by the maker's dream holiday destination of Hawaii, particularly the red flowers that grow near volcanoes. This polish is described as being a deep red with red-orange shimmer and gold-hued green reflective glitter. There are only 250 of these being made available. Another very small availability cap. I love that this polish is such a different take on all that Hawaii has to offer. What an incredible part of the world. And this one is so totally different from the Cuticula offering. The depth of this polish, along with that reflective glitter, that's actually a green reflective glitter. What a cool contrast within that deep, deep red. I really think that this polish might be a showstopper. I'd love to see this one playing out in natural sunlight. I could see myself being especially drawn to this polish, probably in the fall. Also, probably in the winter, I tend to be drawn to darker, deeper polishes, especially at that time. But also really at any time of year, even in the spring and summer, I love the way that reflective glitter just dances in any sort of shifting sunlight. This one is another one that just is capturing my heart, and I think it would be incredible to see in person. This rich red reflective polish is by Danglefoot Nail Polish, Live, Laugh, Lava. This next polish up is by Garden Path Lacquers, Her Dark Designs. The inspiration for this one is that it is a tribute to the classic Universal movie monsters of Universal Orlando's new dark universe. The description that goes along with this one is that Her Dark Designs is a royal purple jelly base filled to the brim with purple holographic micro glitter, black metallic microflakies, and a gorgeous aqua to blue shifting aurora shimmer. And luckily, there's no availability cap at all for this one. So that means that the maker can produce as many polishes as are needed to fulfill all orders this month. Garden Path Lacquers for me in the last 2 years, I suppose, has just done no wrong. I've been loving almost every release they've been putting out. Part of it is the way that they absolutely jam-pack their polishes with all these different elements. Micro glitter, micro flakes, shimmer, but yet somehow there's still this light shiftiness that happens with these polishes. And I think this one is an excellent example of that. The shifts here are magical. Like, they really are wide ranging. I really love how it's rather anchored with the darkness of the black metallic microflakes. It's quite an interesting and dramatic look. Now, this is a polish that I really don't have a reference for the inspiration. I just think this polish is really something special. I've truly never seen anything quite like it. This is a polish, again, that is just, I can't even really describe why I love it so much. It's purely the look of it. I love it. And it is another one of my top picks. This one is by Garden Path Lacquers, Her Dark Designs. This next polish up is by Great Lakes Lacquer, and this one is called This One Goes to 11-1130. This polish was inspired by Saint Chapelle in Paris. There are 1,130 biblical figures depicted in the upper chapel. That's a lot. It is a lot. This polish is described as being a soft periwinkle twinkling with a purple to red to orange shifting shimmer. Now again, I've actually had the incredible honor of visiting this site, Saint Chapelle in Paris, not just once, but actually on 2 different trips to Paris. And this is a small chapel that is just breathtakingly beautiful. You hear about so many of the gorgeous cathedrals throughout France, including the wonderful Notre Dame Cathedral. And Saint Chapelle is this little jewel within Paris, and it is absolutely breathtaking for its delicacy and the light just streaming through the plethora of stained glass windows. It's amazing. The lower chapel, the upper chapel have such different looks, and this is such an iconic color there. It brings back all those memories and how breathtaking it is. You can just sit there and marvel at the light dancing through the venue. It really is quite miraculous. And I would love to get my hands on this polish. I think that this one, just knowing what I know about the other polishes I have in my collection by Great Lakes Lacquer, this one would be just in a world all its own to see in person. The swatch photos are all stunningly beautiful as well. This is a flattering polish on all skin tones once again. But I think in person, in natural light, in a range of natural light, much like it would do in Saint Chapelle in Paris, I think that this polish would just dance and shift and come alive in a way that I couldn't even really imagine. This stunningly beautiful shifty shimmer is by Great Lakes Lacquer. This one goes to 11-1130. This next polish up is by Lumen, and this one is called Vortex. Vortex, inspired by Sedona, evokes sun-soaked red rock formations bathed in golden light. A pale indigo base is saturated in a blended aurora shimmer with subtle sparkle and a red to orange to gold shift, and it builds in opacity in 2 to 3 thin coats. So actually that was part of what made me add this to my wish list. I think this is really shifty and gorgeous. It looks like there's a light source within this polish in so many of these swatch photos. I love the idea that this one has a pale indigo base as well. It has that darkness, but yet this interesting illumination happening. And it really does look to me to be quite magical. But really, it took me a little bit to add it to my wish list, but it wasn't until I read the fact that it says that it does build up in opacity in 2 to 3 thin coats. So I am seeing from many of the swatchers here that it does appear to have a little bit more opacity than maybe I thought at first. I do know that often Lumen can have very, very ethereal light polishes that never really do get opaque in any sort of way. That the effect really is only coming from the shimmer. But in this one, I can still see a little bit of visible nail line here, which to me is no problem actually. But I can still see some visible nail line here in this swatch photo. But it does seem in many of the swatch photos to be rather quite obscured, probably with the addition of multiple coats. This one is just so shifty and lit and magical, and I would love to add this one to my collection. It is actually sneaking up a little bit higher and higher on my wish list from me being hesitant at first to being one of my higher picks. This one is by Lumen, Vortex. This next polish up is by Lurid Lacquer, and this one is called Oil on Canvas. Oil on Canvas is inspired by the beautiful artwork I saw while vacationing in Florence, Italy. Oil on Canvas features a deep green jelly base with aurora shimmer that shifts from green to blue. There are only 500 of these available. Right away for me, it was the fact that this one was a green that made my heart so happy. So I added it immediately to my wish list. This is such a gorgeous, deep jelly base, a really rich green. Actually, I was kind of surprised to see that it was a jelly base. I kind of thought that it was maybe something a little bit different than that. I really love this color, really elegant and beautiful, and I think very versatile in my life. I do wear greens all throughout the year, all different shades, and I think that I would have a whole lot of use out of this one. But also the idea that this one is called Oil on Canvas, the fact that this one was inspired by beautiful artwork that was seen while the maker was vacationing in Florence, Italy. Florence, Italy was one of the earliest destinations on my very first European trip many, many years ago. And it was such a special time for me. And those galleries in Florence, Italy, like at every turn, you were looking at an absolute masterpiece. I was just so taken by Florence, the whole city, really, the entirety of it, the architecture, the art, the culture, the food, the climate, everything, the people. It was so welcoming, and I would love to go back. I was there actually in 1999, and I have such a special connection with Florence because it was one of the first places that I ever witnessed in Europe. And this one being in one of my favorite colors, like it just makes me think of that richness, the opulence, the decadence of Florence and the artwork. It is such an iconic color and such a breathtaking one here. I can't say enough about the way the maker has taken this color and created it in a bottle of nail polish. This elegant, moody green is by Lurid Lacquer, Oil on Canvas. The next polish up is by Night Owl Lacquer, and this one is called Wandering Washington. This is an avocado green filled with glowy shimmer that shifts blue, indigo, violet. It's inspired by all of the beautiful places from forest to the ocean to explore in Washington state. It goes on to also add that to celebrate Pride Month, the maker will be donating a portion of the profits from this polish to an LGBTQIA+ charity. And for me, nail polishes that benefit charity are always a great thing. Luckily, there's actually no listed cap for this polish as well. This one's another green. I love green, and I'm loving what this polish is doing too. I'm really quite intrigued by the fact that this one is described as an avocado green. Avocado green is a color that is underrepresented in my own collection. In fact, I don't think I have anything quite along these lines. And this shimmer that's running through it is really outstanding. This is not a shy shimmer at all. I think that both the base and the shimmer, although both wildly bright in their own right, somehow complement each other beautifully. I'm finding that it has a little bit of a murky or a pruggly type of quality to it, and I am absolutely here for it. Looking at a color like this one, it reminds me of spring, these paler greens that are starting to burst out in life against pale blue skies. It reminds me of the brightness and vibrance of summer. It also reminds me of fall. There is something about that murkiness that does remind me a little bit of a mossier green. I think I'd actually get quite a lot of use out of a polish like this one, even though it is such an unusual color. This beautiful shimmery avocado green is by Night Owl Lacquer, Wandering Washington. This next one up, and I really hope that I'm pronouncing the polish name correctly for this one. This one is by Psyche Colors, and I hope it's right when I say it's called Lonnie.000. Lonnie.000 is a hollow glitter bomb with a gorgeous sandy beach shade with red, orange, gold, purple color shift that goes green on the edges. It's inspired by Hawaiian beaches at sunset. There are only 270 of these being made available this month. For the last several years, sand-colored polishes have been such a draw for me, especially in the summer months when I actually can't get out to a beach or haven't been able to get out traveling. I also find that colors like these are so neutral, even though in this case there's quite a bling to it, but neutral colors I'm drawn to for any season, any time of year as well. But there are some of these ones that are inspired by sand that I really am in love with. They're some of my favorites in my collection, and I very much wear them more than almost any other type of polishes in my collection, these sandy inspired polishes. The twinkle that's going through this one looks really quite special. It has that beautiful color shift from the shimmer, and this hollow glitter really looks quite outstanding. In all of these swatch photos, I'm really seeing quite a few rainbows off the nails. It looks, to my eye anyway, through these swatch photos, that this is quite a potent hollow. The base color as well, I think, is such a great, safe neutral. I think it would be appropriate for many different settings and occasions, especially as a special occasion polish. I would absolutely love to see how this one plays in natural sunlight. I have the feeling that this polish would really come alive in all different lighting conditions. This is another polish this month that is quickly becoming a top pick of mine. This sparkly sand-inspired polish is by Pi Colors, Lani.000. This next polish is by Polished for Days, and it's called A Cruise by the Reef. This one has a blue base with a yellow, green, blue, purple, super shifting iridescent shimmer and holographic flakes, and it's inspired by turtles. It's the fact that this polish seems to really truly have a ton of sparkle, and also I love that it's described here as having a super shifting iridescent shimmer. It actually does seem to have quite an electric shimmer running through it as well. This colorway, I think, is really not that unique in my collection. I have purchased quite a few blue-based sort of teals, aquamarines, colors in this similar vein. But there is something about the quality of this shimmer and this sparkle that I think does make it stand out. Also, when I saw that this offering was from Polished for Days, I know that their quality is outstanding. I own several of their polishes, and really every single one of their polishes always seems to exceed any expectation. It just seems like on every single swatcher, this is another polish that looks absolutely outstanding. The shifts, the sparkle, the base color, it really is flattering. And I know that Polished for Days would do an excellent job with any polish that they release. This is a polish that I truly don't need, but there is something so fresh and tropical and sparkly and kind of wondrous about it as well. I don't need it, but I think I'd also be a little bit heartbroken if I let this one slip through my fingers. This sparkling, shifting teal blue is by Polished for Days, A Cruise by the Reef. This next polish up is by Psyche Minerals, and this one is called Whispering Waves. Imagine sitting lakeside during a summer sunset, listening to the lapping of the waves with a gentle breeze. The sky, brilliant shades of pinks and purples. These are most nights while on vacation in northern Wisconsin at our summer cabin. Whispering Waves is a lightly tinted lavender base loaded with aqua blue violet large particle aurora shimmer, pink reflective glitter, and blue-green gold iridescent flakes. And there are only 275 of these available. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't seen anything exactly alluding to this in any of the descriptions or any of the social media posts that I've seen surrounding this polish so far. But I kind of wonder if this is sort of a sibling or a cousin polish to a polish that I know I love very much called Ghastly Smell, kind of in that family. There's something here in the appearance of these swatch photos and then also the description, including aurora shimmer, reflective glitter, and iridescent flakes that draws to mind that type of a polish family. And if that's the case, this maker does that formula incredibly well. And it really is a formula that I have grown to adore in my collection. If this is in fact a polish that is related to that set of nail polishes that I find that Psyche Minerals is quickly becoming kind of known for, almost like a signature finish of theirs, I think this one is a really fresh take on that type of a polish. There really is a freshness about this shade of pink, and then with that kind of electric blue shimmer that's going through it as well. It's described as an aqua blue violet large particle aurora shimmer. So that's a really lovely cool toned wash of shimmer that runs through this gorgeous light pinky lavender. Again, reflective glitter is a type of finish that I can't get enough of. And I find that the addition too of the iridescent flakes, it just has that extra type of play in all different types of lighting. This one has a very light and fairy-like look to me. It's fresh, it's ethereal, and it has quite a special aspect with this wild shimmer reflective glitter and those iridescent flakies. I'm really loving the look of this polish as well this month. This one is by Psyche Minerals, Whispering Waves. This next polish up is by Roya Lee, and this one is called Pumpkin Pathway. Roya Lee was inspired by Halloween at Tivoli Gardens in Denmark. It's a rich, vampy orange loaded with orange, pink, and purple flakes. It does also add, there's an extra note down below here saying, please note, this could stain. This polish does really look quite highly pigmented, so I would take extra precautions if this one did make its way home with me. This is such a rich, interesting take on an orange. It looks like quite a reddish orange, really beautiful and deep. This would be quite a unique colorway in my collection. The fiery flakes in this one as well. It's got orange, pink, and purple flakes. I find it gives it a really beautiful look. The layering of the flakies gives it quite a mosaic kind of effect. I'm not quite sure in this swatch photo because it is a little bit on the blurred side, I think, to show off some of the shine and shimmer and layering. But I kind of wonder if this is actually done with a matte top coat. That's not something I do very often with my polishes, but I think this one actually could be quite intriguing, mattified as well with a matte top coat. In the bottle shots as well, we've seen a few of those as I've been scrolling through. I love how that purple sometimes just flashes. It's not as heavy a component as the oranges and pinks, I find, but there is that little bit of a cool aspect to it through the purple that you can see flashing a little bit. And I think that's such a cool addition here. I did also have the chance to visit Tivoli Gardens on 2 separate trips to Denmark across the last 15 years or so. I've only ever had the chance to travel in Europe in the summertime. I'm a teacher, so it's really just on school holidays that I've had the incredible pleasure to travel Europe. But it's been one of my dreams to travel Europe in what's sort of North American off seasons. I'd love to see Europe in the winter time. I know there's some beautiful traditions that happen throughout the winter months. I would especially love to go to Europe out of high season throughout the fall. Unfortunately, in my life, with the career I have, I'll probably have to wait until retirement to have an experience like that. But it's something that I have always sort of held on to. I love traveling. I find I learn so much about the world. And I love how these makers have really taken us there to all these different destinations through nail polish. The images they're evoking in my mind, as well as the feelings they're bringing out, are really quite special this month. And this Roya Lee polish, for all my aspirations in life, wanting to increase my travel to new places at different times of year, this polish really is pulling at my heartstrings. It's very aspirational and inspirational, and it's also really beautiful and vampy too. Really quite a unique one. It would be a great addition to my collection. This one is probably another top pick of mine this month. This one is by Roya Lee, Pumpkin Pathway. This final polish up on my wish list is by Sassy Sauce Polish, and this one is called Just Got Laid. This one is described as having a hollow base with mystical blue magnetic pigment and microflakes. It goes on to say this is not an in-your-face magnetic. It pulls a ghostly magnetic effect. The inspiration is a photo of a Hawaiian sunset. This one, it says, was named by Mary Sandberg, and there are 500 of these being made available. Now, I do have to admit, I caught quite a bit of video swatch footage of this polish on YouTube. Several favorite swatchers on YouTube did get to swatch this Sassy Sauce polish this month, and the sparkle and hollow of this one really did seem quite remarkable. What really caught me about this one, though, is this blue. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong on this one, but it does make me think of the sparkliest denim type blue. There is a denim quality about this one that I've been seeing in many of these swatch photos and also in all the video swatch footage that I've been seeing so far. Denim-y blues really kind of get me. Again, I'm a teacher. There's something about denim blues in late August, early September, actually throughout the fall, really, that really brings to mind my identity as it comes through my profession as a teacher. A denim blue colorway, I think, much like a true blue denim pair of jeans, Like, it really is a classic color, an any time of year color, but it does really remind me of sort of August to September or throughout the fall in particular. I'm also rather intrigued by this magnetic effect. I don't really see a whole lot of evidence of it in a lot of the images that I'm seeing. So I think they are right. It is not an in-your-face effect. But I would love to see how this plays against the color, how it plays against the sparkle with the hollow base, the microflakes. There's often, not always, but there's often a little bit of a sparkle in magnetic pigment itself too. Like, I would really love to see how this one looks in person. I feel like this is another polish that would really exceed any expectation if I did end up purchasing this one. This one I'm not entirely sure about because I do own others in this type of colorway. But there does seem to be a really special aspect with this one with that extra sparkle. I have heard swatchers say that it is an impressive quantity and quality of sparkle in this polish, but also how that magnetic effect may pull and play with it in a different way that really maybe can't expect until you try it out on your nails in a variety of different ways. This one is really intriguing me, and although it's another one I don't really need, I can't really get this one out of my mind. And ooh, that bottle shot there is really kind of neat, the way it picks up the rainbows in a rather different kind of way. This sparkly, magnetic, hollow blue polish is by Sassy Sauce Polish, Just Got Laid. So that's it for my incredible 17-item wish list this month in June 2025's polish pickup. I have to give so much credit to the makers this month. They've really taken us on a journey. The variety is absolutely blowing my mind. We've got a little bit of everything, almost any kind of colorway, any type of finish, lots of different inspirations, although I have to say I've really picked out quite a few that are inspired by Hawaii of all things. It makes sense, I guess. It's a beautiful part of the world that I really hope that I can get to at some point in my future. But so creative, some really intriguing thermals, some interesting glitter crellies, a few magnetics, really great color combinations in terms of shimmers and base colors. I really am totally impressed. And this is all happening in a month when I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to make any purchases at all. I am a Canadian, and unfortunately I did get hit by significant tariff fees the last time that I purchased in May. It was a big hit. I won't go into the exact dollar amount, but it really does have me thinking that I may have to take a pause in terms of purchasing through polish pickup until some of these wild financial times calm down a little bit. The tariffs did actually come into effect months ago, but it wasn't until May's polish pickup that they actually were billed to me upon delivery of my package. And I realized that that is not at all any reflection on polish pickup or their makers. And if there's one thing I want to do, it's to support indie makers who depend on us as consumers for their livelihood. I realize they are also getting hit by the tariffs in terms of purchasing supplies, whether it's components for their polish or whether it's bottles, labels, brushes, whatever it may be. We're all getting affected by this. But it was such a significant financial hit for me that I do have to pause and think about how this stacks up in terms of also the rest of my life's purchases and daily life things like groceries, how grocery prices also are going up in my area as well. So I have a lot of thinking to do, but wow, this one really is an impressive month, and I couldn't help but seriously go in and make what is amounted to be an enormous wish list. These makers do deserve our appreciation and our support in whatever way we can. And even if I can't make a purchase, I did want to honor these makers through a shout out in this video. And we'll have to see how this turns out. I'm not sure what my purchasing might look like or might not look like, but I only have about another day to figure it all out. So the Polish Pickup shop opens this month, June 6th to June 9th. The shop opens June 6th at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that matters for several of these polishes with very small availability caps. If there is a polish that you're interested in, you may want to set an alarm and make your purchase as close to 11 o'clock a.m. as you can to be sure that you get everything that you're hoping for before quantities run out. So I'm wondering, Are you planning on purchasing this month from Polish Pickup? If you are, which items are grabbing your attention? Please feel free to add all your thoughts about your top picks as well as about my wish list in the comments, and we can continue on the conversation long after. If you enjoy wish listing videos like these, please consider giving this video a like. It indicates to me that you enjoy content similar to this, and in the months ahead, I'll try my best to produce content like this as often as I can. As well, if you enjoy nail polish related content in general, please consider subscribing. I release nail related content as often as I can, and by subscribing, you won't miss out on any of the fun. Thank you so much for watching. Happy shopping. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next one.